welcome back to Misfit Media, a podcast about queerness, disability and more with a focus on personal experience, knowledge and inter-community topics. My name is Delta and my pronouns are Viva Vis. Gender Fluid Visibility Day is coming up, so in this episode I will be talking about some gender fluid terms. The first term is obviously gender fluid. Gender fluid describes someone's gender changing between different genders or fluctuating in intensity. Some people use it to mean only when the actual gender changes and not when the intensity changes, which I disagree with, because if it changes in intensity, your gender is not consistent. If your gender is not consistent, it is fluid. But the term for when your gender changes in intensity is gender flux. So this could mean that someone changes from being a man to being a demi-boy, to being Libra masculine, to being agender, and back and forth. Fluid flux describes when someone's gender is both fluid and flux. For example, they switch between male, demigirl, maverick, agender, Libra masculine, and all kinds of different genders in various intensities. The next term is gender solid, which is a term to describe that someone's gender is neither fluid nor flux. For example, an androgyne who is always and fully androgyne. Gender solid people, of course, may be multigender. The next term is gender fey. Gender fey describes gender fluidity that never encompasses masculine genders. So, for example, someone could be fluid between female, demigirl, maverick, agender, androgyne, xenogender, but their gender fluidity would never include male or demiboy or proxvir. Next term is gender fluor. Gender fluor describes gender fluidity that never encompasses masculine or feminine genders. So this person could be fluid, for example, between neutra, xenogender, aporagender, or agender, but their gender fluidity would never include womanhood, manhood, demiboy, demigirl, those things. The next term is gender faun, which describes gender fluidity that never encompasses feminine genders. This means that a person could, for example, be fluid between male, demiboy, agender, maverick, or androgyne, but they would never be female or demigirl or similar feminine genders. The next term is marfluid, which describes gender fluidity that only or almost only includes masculine genders. For example, someone could be fluid between male, proxvir, demiboy, and Libra masculine, but they would never or only rarely be female, maverick, agender, neutra, or other non-masculine genders. And the last term is venofluid, which describes gender fluidity that only or almost only encompasses feminine genders. So, for example, a person could be fluid between Juxera, demigirl, female, and Libra feminine, but their gender would never or only rarely include agender, maverick, androgyne, neutra, male, demiboy, or other non-feminine genders. And this have been all the gender fluid terms for this episode. If you enjoyed this episode or even the entire podcast, please consider sharing it with a friend or on social media. You should also consider following Misfit Media on your preferred podcast platform, because that way you will never miss an episode again. If you would like to listen to a monthly bonus episode, you can subscribe to Misfit Media for only 99p a month, with a link in the description of this episode. For everything else, such as my social media, the Misfit Media Discord, the podcast transcripts, sending me a voice message, sending me anonymous questions, or my email, all of that can be found in the link tree in the description of this episode. Thank you so much for listening, and until next time, be safe.